Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on the how to make an hatching system series. Now by the end of this video you'll be able to create this. So if I just go ahead and press R, it will ask you if you want to buy the triple hatch game pass. You can press buy and you will be able to triple hatch, and also we'll be finishing up the pet inventory system. So if I just go to my pets, equip, you can equip an infinite amount of pets as long as your game allows it, and we'll be working on an unequip all button and a little text label for displaying how many pets you have equipped. And that is what we'll be making in this video. Before this video starts, if you guys want to support me and want to have access to all of my project files, including the one you're watching right now, they will all be available in my Patreon in the $10 tier. With that being said, let's start. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is go to the link in the description, get the free model that I made, and then go to Home, Toolbox, My Models, and drag in the Pet Follower model. Then it's going to give you this warning. Just press OK, and then go to your model in the workspace, drag the player pets folder into the workspace, and drag the pet follower local script into star player and then star character scripts. And then you're gonna get this server script and drag it inside of server script service. And now if you just go ahead and play the game right now, you will notice that nothing will happen. And that is because if you go to your model here, get this duck, drag it inside of player pets, inside of player's prog, the duck will start to follow me. And if you just duplicate this, it will do this. If you duplicate it again, it will do this. If you keep on duplicating it, it's pretty much infinite, so that's very cool. And also when you get rid of a pet, same thing will happen. It will just remove it and the circle radius will get smaller. Now this is made using something called a unit circle that I found in the div forum, and I added these nice pet animations to it. And then I also added some, well, I pretty much made it so that it works for everybody. So if you just go ahead and start a 2-player server, drag it into the just get the duck, and if you just drag it into the player pets player 1 locally, as you can see, the other player won't be able to see your pets because you're probably hacking and you don't really own this pet. And if we just do this from the server, so if I go to the server, get the duck, and then go to the player pets and drag it inside of some player, as you can see, what will happen is both of the players will see the pet. And as you can see, it's very smooth for all of the players in the game because I'm handling everything locally. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the system. One thing that I forgot to mention is that you can make a pet fly or walk just by adding this walk's value to it. So if I just drag the duck here, obviously the duck has to walk. It's not going to fly, it's not a dragon or something like that. If I just get rid of this walk's value, as you can see, it will start doing this. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the following system. And now what I'm going to do is make it so that you can equip pets from the pet follower, from the from the inventory. But the first thing we're gonna have to do is make it so that we're gonna have to set up these pets like the duck is set up. And to do that, I'm going to show you how to do it. Just select your mouse. For example, your mouse, I'm going to drag it inside of the workspace, press F to zoom in, and that will just put it here. Now, what I'm going to do is make sure that basically just copy everything that's in the duck. So any parts that are not the primary parts will not be anchored and not collidable. So let's do just that. All of the parts not anchored and not collidable. And then we're gonna select our mouse, select the primary part, press this X icon, and then I'm going to add a part to this, to the mouse, and call it something like primary. So I'm just going to change the name to primary, and then I will just size this to the size of my pet. So 1,1,1 is the right size, I think, and I will just position it to 0,0,0. Actually, nope. I'm going to change the, I think it's the origin position. No, that's not it. So I'm just going to select the center of my pet. Actually, you can just select your part and position it manually. Just make sure that it covers the whole pet. So I will just make the X something like 2, 2, and 2. And then I will just do this. Maybe 1.5. 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 is the right way to go. I'll just make it so that it fits the entire pet. And I think that looks pretty good. Now what you're gonna have to do is select your primary, select your mouse or your pet, and go to primary part. Click this and select your primary part. And then we're gonna select our primary, make the transparency 1, and we will make sure that can collide is turned off. And I'm pretty sure you have to anchor this. Yes, make sure to anchor it. And then you're gonna have to weld everything together. And to do that, it's very simple. Just get rid of any weld that's inside of your pet and select your primary part and add a weld constraint. And what I'm going to do is set the part 0 to the primary and part 1 to any part here. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but now for the next part, and now the next part, and now the other part, like that. And now your pet should be fully set up, hopefully. Not really too sure, but let's see if this works. So if I just select if I just press play, drag my mouse inside of my character, player pets, player's prog, as you can see, it will start following me. But as you can see, it's not really rotated correctly. And to fix this, it's very simple. You just have to select your primary part, and you have to go to, I think it was, okay. So what I'm going to do is add a frame to this billboard GUI, and I'm going to add, actually it's called a surface GUI, or just add an image. I think it's called a decal. Yes. And as you can see, the front is here. So the front face of my primary part is here. So I'm going to select my primary part, rotate it, and now my front is here. And I'm just going to get rid of my decal now. And obviously we want this to walk, so I'm going to duplicate this walks value and just drag it inside of my mouse. And now if I play the game, that should work. So if I just go here, mouse, drag this here, as you can see, it works just fine. As you can see, there is a little bit of clipping, but that's not really a problem. I'll try to fix this in the pet module, but I don't know. I think this works. I'm pretty sure to fix this, you just have to make the primary part larger, something like that. And if I just play the game now and just select my mouse, drag it here, here, yeah, that fixes it. Okay, so that's good. And now what I'm going to do is do this to all of my pets, and I'll get back when I'm done. Okay, so I've been a bit lazy, and what I did is just make another mouse, but made it red and called it red mouse. So now we have 2 pets that are working. And as you can see here, we have a mouse and here a red mouse. Now what I'm going to do is make it so that you can actually equip these pets. So let's do that. What I want to do is just make sure that we can actually see them in our inventory, and yes, we do. Okay, so let's make the pet equipping work. So to do that, it's very simple. Just go to your pets frame, pet inventory, and whenever we press this equip button, what I want to do is just fire a remote event. So local result is equal to, and I will just create a remote function in a caching remote, and I'm going to call it equip pet. And what I'm going to do here is just replicated storage dot hatching remotes dot hatching remotes dot equip pet colon invoke server, and what we're gonna send is equipped is actually the selected template dot name, and then we will check if result is equal to equip, then and else if result is equal to unequip, then, and what I'm going to do is just make sure that in here I'm going to create in my container, I'm going to select my template and press the plus icon and just create a bool value, and this bool value would be called equipped, and we're gonna make sure that the value is set to false. And then select the template, find first child, find first child equipped dot value is equal to true, and in here I'm going to make sure that the value is set to false. And what I'm going to do here is just check. Okay, so this should work, but what I want to do is make sure so that when we equip a pet, the equip button dot text will become unequip, and when we unequip a pet, the equip button text will become equip, and that should work. Now I'm going to go back to my server script, actually access the main server, and what I'm going to do is do game replicated storage dot egg hatching remotes dot, and I think it's called hatch equip pet dot on server invoke is equal to function, and I will take the player and the pet name, and then what I'm going to do is just equip the pet. Now to equip a pet, what I'm going to do is just go to my server storage, egg hatching data, and leader stats. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do is, I think, add a folder here and call it values, and I'm going to add a int value, and I'm going to call it equipped pets or max pets equipped. Now this will have a default value of 3, and what I'm going to do is do a local equipped number of pets equipped, and it will be set to hashtag workspace dot player pets find first child player dot name and get children, and then I will just check if number of pets number of pets equipped +1 will be less or equal than the player dot values dot max pets equipped dot value. Then what I'm going to do is just get a copy of the pet, so local cloned pet is equal to game replicated storage game replicated storage dot, and I'm going to get my pets, I think. Yes, pets. Find first child, and I'm going to get the pet name, comma true, colon clone. And then cloned pet dot parent is equal to, and workspace, just copy this here, put it here, and then what I will do is just return equipped. Else if, and we will just change this to, okay, so this is a bit complicated. I'm just going to return equipped for now and see if this works. So I'm just going to play the game, hatch an egg. And select my pet, equip it. And okay, so it did equip my pet. And if I just equip multiple of them, it will equip multiple of them. And we don't want that to happen. But let's see if I equip more than 3, will that be possible? Okay, so it does not let me equip more than 3 pets, which is good. But now what we want to do is just make sure that now we want to return equipped. And what I'm going to do is just change this to else if. I'm going to add an else if and do this and change this to is greater than that. And what we're gonna do is return cannot equip. And now I'm going to create a new remote function, and I'm going to call it unequip pet. And I will just go here to my pet inventory, and I'm going to check if selected template colon find first child. Okay, so what I want to check, okay, so in here you're gonna have to return equip, not equipped. So return equip and go back here, and if selected template colon find first child equipped dot value is equal to true, then what we're gonna do is just call this. So just do this, and that should work. Now we're gonna put an else, and we will call the unequip pet remote function instead. So do the same thing here, and we're gonna check, we're just going to check if the result is equal to true this time. Then, and what we're gonna do is just do this. So equip button dot text is equal to equip, and selected template colon find first child equipped is equal to false, dot value is equal to false. And now I'm going to copy this here in the server, paste it here. Okay, paste it here and change this to unequip pet instead. And we'll just do this. So copy this, got it, put it here, and workspace dot player pet colon find first child player dot name colon find first child and pet name colon destroy. And now if we play the game, we should have a working equipping and unequipping pet system. So let's hope that this will work. And nope, it does not work. So attempt index name with destroy. Okay. So what it looks like is that we have messed up here. So instead of doing this, we're gonna check if the equipped value is set to false, then we're gonna equip the pet. Else, if it's not set to false, if it's set to true, then we're gonna unequip the pet. So that should work now, maybe. and moment of truth, it does work. Let's see if I can unequip it, and we can equip it, but it still says unequip. So we have to fix that. So when we unequip the pet, what we want to do, okay, so in here we're gonna return true. Play the game again, and that should work. So pets, equip, it says now unequip, and if I press it again, it unequips it, and if I just equip it again, it equips it. If I equip another pet, it still says unequip. That is also very easy to fix. So you just have to make sure that when we press the template, what we're gonna have to do is just change the equip button text is equal to and equip, or instead we will check if temp. Okay, so if selected template dot confined to child and equipped dot value is equal to true, then what we want to do is just set the equip button dot text is equal to unequip, else we'll set the equip button dot text to equip. That should work. So if I just go ahead and hatch an egg real quick, check my inventory, that should be pretty good. So yes, now we can equip it. If I select this, it says equip, and if I go to this one, it says unequip because we have it equipped. And if I go to this one again, okay, so that's really good. Let's see if we can equip 3 pets. So these are already equipped, this, and now we have 3 pets equipped. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is make it so that game passes are actually working, so that you can't triple hatch if you don't have a game pass. And to do that, it's very simple. You just have to go to your main server, and I'm going to create a variable up here. So it's going to be called local triple hatch ID, and this will be a number, the ID of your game pass. So I'm just going to put 10 for now. And what I'm going to do is, in my player added event, what I'm going to do is just do player. I'm going to check if, but before I do that, I forgot that I have to create a variable for marketplace service. So local MPS is equal to game:get service marketplace service. And then I'm going to check if marketplace service is if MPS user owns Game Pass async, and I'm pretty sure that takes the player's user ID .user ID, and it will also take the Game Pass ID, so triple hatch ID. And then we're gonna put a then, and we're gonna do player dot player dot values dot owns okay, let's do find first child can triple hatch dot value is equal to true. And then I'm going to create a value in here. I'm going to create a bool value, and I'm going to just call it can triple hatch. And then I will just go to my triple hatch, my hatch 3 pets event here, and I'm going to check if player dot values dot can triple hatch dot value is equal to true, then. And then we'll just do all of this here, and then we're gonna add an else. If this is not set to true, then we're gonna return cannot, or let's return by, or let's just return the player does not own the game pass. And now I will check if this works. So I will just go to Roblox and I'll show you how to make a game pass. And to do that, it's very simple. Just go to create, go to your place. For me it's this, and I will just go to store, add game pass, and then you can just select a file. I'll do that in a second. Okay, so I just chose some random picture, and I will just set the pass name to triple hatch, hit preview, and verify upload. And then you can go to your game pass, you can go to 3 dots here, configure, and you can give your game pass a price. Now I'm going to make it 1 Robux, and I will just copy my game pass ID. To copy the game pass ID, you can just go here to the link of your game pass, the URL, and just copy these numbers here. So Control C, and I will go back to here, and I'm going to change my triple hatch ID to that. And now if we play the game, that should hopefully work. Okay, so exceeds max players. This is weird, but anyways, so now if I go to players prog, okay, so I do not have access to that for some whatever reason. Let's try that again. Play. Special voice is only available for places with. Okay, that is very weird. Okay, so I just realized why that was happening, and it was because if I just go to my main server script, I had to put this if statement. It was here, so I just copied it, cut it, paste it here, and now it works. So because I own that game pass, it should say true. So can triple hatch, and the value is set to true, and I can actually triple hatch. But what if I do not own the game pass? So let's just change this to some random number, something like this. Okay, so I just put the ID of a game pass that I do not own, and I will just go ahead and play the game. And as you can see, it does not let me triple hatch. But now we need to make it so that when you press R, it will prompt the triple hatch buy-in frame. So let's do just that. So to do that, go to your client scripts, hatch client, and in here, when we want a triple hatch, or when we ask to triple hatch, so just scroll down to line 500 or something. Okay, so it's around 400. And right here, where it says, not here actually, I think it's here. Okay. So when we press R, we are checking the paths, we are checking the results. And now what I'm going to do is check if, instead of checking if the results are not equal to nil, we're going to check if the results, if result 1 is equal to true, and result 2 is equal to true, and result 3 is equal to true, then, and we're going to put an else if result 1 is equal to if result 1 is equal to, and we're gonna copy what we just sent here. So the player does not own the game pass. Then we're gonna print player does not own the game pass, and I will see if this works. So right here, press R, and player does not own the game pass. Okay, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just saying this, I will do marketplace service, but we need a variable for marketplace service. So local MPS is equal to game colon get service, get service marketplace service, and I will scroll down again to the same part. So around here, and I think it's okay, so it's here. Okay, so if the result is equal to the player does not own the game pass, then MPS colon prompt game pass purchase, and that will take the player and the ID. So triple hatch ID. And what I'm going to do is change this to triple hatch ID, and I will create a variable for that. So local triple hatch ID, and we're gonna paste in our ID that we have here. So right here, and that should work. So I will just play the game now and check if that works. Okay, so third-party sales have been disabled for this place. Okay, so that is very simple to fix. You just have to go to home, game settings, and I'm pretty sure it's something like here in security, and allow third-party sales, and that should work. So now if I press R, it tells me if I want to buy the Game Pass, and I can buy it from here. But now we need to make this work when we actually buy it, instead of having to rejoin. That is also very simple. To do that, just go to your main server script. Okay, so just go down here and do mps dot prompt game pass purchase dot prompt. I think it's Game Pass purchase finished. Yes. Colon connect function, and that takes the player, so the player and the Game Pass ID. So player comma and triple hatch or Game Pass ID. Now I will check if Game Pass ID is equal to the triple hatch ID. Then I will just set the player can hatch value to true. So just copy this, paste it here, and that should work. If I just press R here, it says buy this random Game Pass. I just put some random ID, and let's see if that worked. Values, triple hatch, and I cannot hatch. Now that does not seem to work. Wait, did it? How much does the egg cost? Okay, so that is why. It's because I do not have enough money to buy the egg. So I will just change this to 100. Play the game. Press R this time. Okay, so it takes away my cash even though I am not hatching. Okay, so I actually found a fix for this. It was very easy. I just had to change this here. So if result is not equal to the player does not own the Game Pass, and result 2 is not equal to nil, and result 3 is not equal to nil, then we just do this. And also we have to do this for the mobile system. So just go here, change this to I think it's here. So okay, so copy this, just copy this entire if statement. Actually, let's just copy the entire part here and do it here, and that should work. And let's just recheck. So now that I do not have the Game Pass, I press R and it's telling me would you like to buy it, and if I just purchase it, it works. And now if I press R, I can triple hatch. That is very nice. Now what I want to do is have a little GUI here that says how many pets you are actually equipping and how many pets you are allowed to equip. And also maybe we can have a little check mark icon here that can display if the pet is equipped. To do that, it's very simple. We just have to go to our pets frame, make it visible, and go to container template, make it visible, and I'm going to add let's add a frame to it, and let's make it smaller. Now we'll just have it put here, and then I will convert it to scale by using the plugin, and I will rename it to check mark, and I will set the color to green, and I will also have, or let's rename this to display, or okay, let's just keep the name as it was, and I will add a UI corner, and I'm going to set the corner radius to 0 on the offset and 1 on the scale, so that it's a circle. And I will mess around with the grid size on the X because I think it looks a bit stretched. So to 5, to 6, to 7. Okay, that's looking good. And now I'm going to make sure that this check mark is invisible and that the template is not visible. And I will go back to my pet inventory, and I will just let's think of this. So when we equip the pet, what I want to do is just go here, and when we want to equip the pet, I'm going to do select the template dot check mark dot visible is equal to true. And when we unequip it, we're going to set the visible property to false. And same thing here. So if this is set to true, then we will set this to true, and if it's set to false, we will set this to false. And now if I play the game, hatch some pets, it should show me if I am actually equipping a pet. So if I just press equip, as you can see the little green check mark. If I unequip it, you can still see the green check mark. And we don't want this to happen. So let's fix it. What I'm going to do is whenever we are doing this, whenever we are pressing the button and it says unequip, we will set the check mark to false. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Let's try that again. If I equip it, unequip it, equip, unequip, that works. But now we need a little text label for displaying if we have the pet. I mean, how many pets we have equipped. So I will just go to my pets frame, and I'm going to add a text label. I'm going to duplicate my title, and I will just put it here. And I will change the text color to white, the font to Ferdocon, and the text to 0 out of 5 or 3. Now I'm going to rename this to just pets equipped, and I will add a local script to it. I'm going to rename this to update. And I will just have a while loop, so while wait 0.1 do, and script.parent.text text is equal to, and hashtag, or let's create a variable up here for the player, so local player is equal to game.players.local player, and I will just wrap this in a pcall function, and I will change the text to hashtag workspace find first child player workspace dot player pets find first child player dot name get children slash dot slash space and another 2 dots, and player dot values dot pets equipped. So values, okay, max pets equipped dot value, and that should work. So it says 0 out of 3, and if I just, okay, let's just hatch 1 pet. Red mouse, and if I equip it, now it says 1 out of 3. If I unequip it, it says 0 out of 3. Now the next button I want to add is a unequip all button, so I'm going to duplicate my equip button, okay, so I will just rename this to update and duplicate my equip button, and I will put it here, and I will call it unequip all, and I will drag it inside of my container, inside of my pets frame, and I will just change its position to 0, 0, 0, 0. Then I will resize it, put it here. I'm going to change its background color to red. And I will change the text to unequip all. And then I will just make this bigger, and I will create a reference to it. So go to your pet inventory script and local unequip all is equal to and frame dot unequip all. Now scroll down and unequip all dot mouse button, one click on connect function, and when we click it, we'll loop through all of our templates. So for icon in pairs, container get children do vehicle find first child equipped dot value is equal to false, and then we'll fire a remote event. Also, whenever we change this to false, we will also want to do v.checkmark dot visible is equal to false, and then I'm going to fire a remote event. So go to your egg hatching remote and add a remote event and call it unequip all. By the way, it's a remote event, not a remote function. And then I will just do replicated storage dot egg hatching remotes dot unequip all colon fire server, and that should be it. Now I will go back to my main server script and game dot replicated storage dot unequip all dot egg remotes dot unequip all dot on server event colon connect function, and that will take the player as an argument. So player, and I will just copy this phrase here, this line of code, and I will paste it here. And I will rename this variable to player pets, And for or player pets, let's do player pets, clear all children. And now if we play the game, press R, buy this game pass, hatch 3 pets, and check my inventory, equip 2 pets, and if I press unequip all, nothing happens. And as you can see, we have an error. So vehicle 5 first child equipped. So that is not a value, that's why. So just go back to your pet inventory script, and I think it is called, okay, so it is called equipped. Okay, so we just have to check if vehicle is a text button, then, and that should work. So now if you press R, hatch 3 pets, and go to your pets inventory, equip more than 1 pet, and press unequip all. As you can see, it unequips all of my pets. And if I just press it again, as you can see, if I just unequip all, it actually unequips all of my pets. Now, I think this is going to be it for today's tutorial. In the next part, which will probably be the last one, I will probably add data saving for the pets and fixing some bugs if there are any. And yeah, with that said, if this video was helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!